What's going on, everybody? Hilse here with you today, bringing you a highly sought after video. A lot of people have been asking for this one too. Again, I get a lot of ideas from you guys, so be sure to keep commenting what you want to see in the comments. I love reading them and I actually act on them. Today I'm going to talk about my biggest mistakes with dropshipping. So getting right into it, I'd say the first mistake I made was obviously the general store. My first store was women's clothing and women's bikinis and stuff like that. I feel like everybody does that, and I tried that, and for some reason I thought it was going to sell just because it was mine. I had that emotional connection to my website, and I failed to realize, a lot of people are trying dropshipping like this. The competition is way too high. On top of that, I was doing clothing, which statistically e-commerce has a 40% return on clothing. I would highly suggest to all of you guys to not even venture into the clothing market because it's going to be a headache. If you really want to, go ahead if it's your passion or something, but I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. Maybe down the line when you actually have a seasoned pixel, but to start off, definitely do not go that way. When the clothing thing didn't work out, I didn't even launch ads to it because I was so embarrassed. This is not gonna work. I knew it from the start. So then I destroyed that website and I made a dropshipping watch site. Of course, the classic. I feel like everybody does women's clothing and watches right at the start, and because everyone does that, the market's way too saturated and it's just not even worth doing. So I wasted, I'm talking weeks building those two sites, and I didn't even run any ads to them because after I built them all, it just didn't feel right. I've always been the type of person to want to stand out and do stuff that nobody else has done, and I felt like I was doing the exact thing that everybody in dropshipping was doing. So that just didn't work for me. That's why I pushed the one product format so hard. That took weeks to build, all that time, all that effort, and I didn't even run ads to them. When the one product stores that I specialize in, by the way, if you guys want more information on that, it's in the description. I've done 170,000 from one iPhone case. It's crazy, but yeah, that's in the description if you want to check it out. Yeah, looking back on it, it's why would I spend all this time importing all these products and building all these websites when I could just start with one product on a one-page store and get everything launched and ready to go, even the Facebook page, the pixel, everything in 4 or 5 hours. So that was a big mistake. That was my first mistake for sure. Coming into dropshipping thinking that I can do the same thing as everybody else and not innovate and not adapt just because I do it, I'm gonna expect to get success. That's stupid. You have to find your own way. You have to do what most people aren't doing. The second mistake I made was actually a pretty bad one. So when I first started on this case, I used an Oberlo supplier over AliExpress. And before I even get into this, I'm not saying don't use Oberlo verified suppliers. They are awesome, very speedy. You can fulfill all your orders in one click. It was just this specific situation where it was a big mistake for me. So on AliExpress, the case was $2 with free shipping or $3.47 with e-packet. E-packet is 2-week shipping with tracking. And on Oberlo, it was the same price. It was $2, but with shipping, it was $3.50. I didn't realize that shipping was the free China post that AliExpress was offering. So my first 1,500 orders, I did that with the China post, but I paid $1.50 per order when I could have done it on AliExpress for free. Or I could have done it with ePacket and not run into all the problems I did. I didn't realize that until about 1,500 orders. That right there cost me about $2,000 that I could have had if I would have went with the AliExpress route and did the China post on the AliExpress. And I'm glad I caught that early in the stage. I've done 13 or 14,000 orders now. But honestly, guys, it really adds up. I tell the story all the time about when I first started this, I was really hesitant on adding shipping costs. My product is $9.95 plus $2.95 shipping. And I was really hesitant because I was maybe that'll throw people off because of Amazon. Most people, they're expecting free 2-day shipping and all this. But last minute, I was you know what? I'll do $2.95 shipping for the big 5 and then $3.95 shipping for everybody else. If I didn't add that shipping, I would have lost off on over $40,000. So I just want to include this just in case any of you guys make this mistake. If you're looking at your product's costs and you do want to keep it in the 3-digit range, $9.99 or below, definitely charge for shipping. Because if I didn't charge on that shipping, I would have $40,000 less dollars than I do now, just because I included the $2.95 shipping. So that's important. Okay, so the third mistake I made, and this one really hurt me, really bad. A lot of you came here from the Oberlo video or the Oberlo article or something. So I might have mentioned in there that I went to my college one day, and that Friday, the college I dropped out of, that Friday at night, we were at the bar and I hit $1,000 on an iPhone case in one day. And I was freaking out. That was super psyched, super psyched. The next day comes and I wake up at 7:30 a.m. and I'm already at $800 $100 on an iPhone case. I only have $400 in ad spend. So I ended up doing $1,600 that day. I still get goosebumps thinking about it. I ended up doing $1,600 that day with like a $900 profit on an iPhone case, and it was amazing. I took my friend Logan out to this restaurant. We spent tons of money on food. We went to a bunch of destinations here in St. Louis. It was a great day. So I was using my $1,000 limit credit card for the ad, and on that $1,600 day, I got really afraid there was gonna be like a failed payment coming up, so I actually switched it to my PayPal account that day. And then ironically, that same day I get my Southwest credit card, which has a $16,000 limit, and I switched it from my PayPal to my credit card that day. That's a big no-no for Facebook. You cannot change your payment method twice in a day, or they're just gonna shut that account down. I went from doing $1,600 the next day doing $36, and I was pissed off I made that mistake, because any of you guys know Facebook ads, they're very sensitive, and once you mess it up even a little bit, it's gonna go downhill. So I do $1,600 a day, switch the payment card twice, wake up in the morning to see that my ad account has been temporarily frozen while they verify my identity and all this, and I was like, oh my god. But luckily they were able to fix it by the next day, and I ended up doing like $900 that day, and then it went down to $750, then it went down to $700, $650, and it just declined, and I killed all the ad sets. Right there, that was my prime time, and I messed it all up because I changed the payment info twice on Facebook. I probably easily could have squeezed $2,000, $3,000, maybe even $4,000 or $5,000 a day if it wasn't for that, but I was still kind of new at Facebook ads at the time. This was over a year ago now. I was still kind of new with Facebook ads, didn't know exactly what I was doing. I was just throwing money left and right, so who really knows? All right, and my fourth and final mistake that I can remember, and just a side note by the way, I don't really plan these videos out. I have a list on my phone of video ideas, but when I come here, I just do it all off the top. That's why I say you guys should start picking up freestyle rap, because every video I do is straight off the dome. When you freestyle, your mind makes connections with words way quicker, and you're able to articulate what you're actually trying to say way smoother. So that's why I always emphasize the freestyle, and that's why I do it so much, just because for things like this or even general conversation, I can paint an image in somebody else's head that's also in my head, and that's very crucial for communication. Anyway, the fourth mistake that I made, I was with my friend Camilla in Seattle, and we were having a great time. We were staying at my friend Ben's dorm room, and it was going great. Like again, I got it up to $1,000, $1,200 a day. I think my profit was around $300 or $400 a day. And then I wake up one morning and I see $250 spent on ads with zero sales. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This was like a month after I did the 2 credit card things. I was like, I finally got it back to $1,000 a day. What is the issue now? So it was actually my bad. I did have a virtual assistant, but I'm not gonna blame her. It was completely my fault. I wasn't keeping an eye on the inventory levels. So we actually sold this company out of this specific iPhone case. So luckily I caught it early-ish in the day, like yeah, $200 went down, but I was able to switch the product really quick. But again, the Facebook pixel and the ads fired to people they thought were prime candidates, and they didn't buy because they couldn't buy. So then the pixel started getting confused and shooting all different directions, and then my ad sets were done for. So I messed that flow up again. And then honestly, that's all the mistakes I can really think of that I actually did, except for one recent one. So about a month or two, my case really started to dip. I was only doing like $100 a day, and it was like, all right, now it's time to convert to the niche store, because the whole idea of the one product format is you scale one product to the fucking moon, and then you collect all that data, all those emails, then you open up a multi-product niche store under that product's niche. Now, a lot of people get that confused. They try to find a niche before they find products. You should find a product before you find a niche, so you know it's gonna work. So anyway, things started getting slow about a month or two ago. I was like, all right, now it's time to convert. I was about to convert, and then I was like, you know what? I've been trying to scale these Facebook ads the exact same way for the past year. Lookalike audience ads. I heavily rely on lookalike audiences. I actually haven't launched any different audience in 9 or 10 months, just because I know how accurate they are. I heavily rely on them, but my scaling strategies for the actual ad sets and budgets, I've been doing that the same way for like a year. So actually recently I started trying a new scaling strategy, and it's been working. It's been working really well. Like 2 days ago, I think I hit like $200. Yesterday I hit $300, and then today I'm at $414, and it's only 3 p.m. And then what I want you guys to understand about that is it's been over a year since I've launched this one product, one page, one Facebook ad campaign with one iPhone case. Literally one Facebook ad, a video, one website with one page on it, with one product, and over a year later, still pulling in over $400, definitely gonna be over $500 or $600 today. And I'm hoping to scale this to $5,000 a day by Christmas. Like, this new scaling strategy that I'm doing is really, really working. And I'll be sure to do a video on this coming up once I verify that it really works, because this is still small scale. I'm trying to really scale this up coming up now. So that's my fifth and final mistake, not digging, not grinding, getting a little comfortable with what I'm doing, kind of thinking that I know how it's done and nobody can tell me anything. That's bullshit. Never let your mind get into that, and I'm frustrated that I let myself get into that. Even though I was able to scale to $170,000 within a year now, I know that if I could go back and actually train harder and harder and harder in these Facebook ads, that number would be much larger now, and that's what I'm trying to do now as a last Hail Mary, last ditched effort into seeing how much money can I squeeze out of this one iPhone case. It's crazy that one iPhone case snowballed into so many things that have completely changed my life. So that's the end of this video. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave it in the comments below. Especially if you have any video suggestions, I always appreciate those. Be sure to hit like. If you hit like, that's gonna be awesome. I love when people hit like because it gets me on the YouTube trending and it starts to grow this channel. And honestly guys, I never thought I could get to this level on YouTube. I thought it was too saturated or whatever, but thank you everybody who likes my video, who comments on my video, and especially those who subscribe to my video. Oh my God, these subscribers keep coming in and it's just mind blowing. I love it. I appreciate every single one of you. If you ever wanna play chess, let me know. And that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.